Rill Data is the fastest business intelligence tool for humans and for agents, and let me show you why using Google Antigravity. Now I'm in Antigravity and I'm in the terminal, and I'm going to use the rill init command to get started. I'll accept some of the defaults. I'll use one of our example projects to have some content to show you. I will install the Agents MD instructions, which is the skills that work well with anti-gravity and also the Google CLI. And let me open that workspace. And in the workspace, I can see, for instance, the skills that have been installed for the agent to work with, as well as the metrics that have been defined in code. And because it's all in code, that's what makes it work so well with the coding agents. And if I start Rill with the rill start command, and by the way, I'm going to use the preview switch here. Rill comes with an IDE, an editor environment, but you don't need to use it if you're using anti-gravity. So I'll just put on the cloud preview mode instead. And what that does is it gives me a replica of the published cloud environment, so I can see how my project is going to look. So I can edit it in code. I can see my metrics here, and I can see how that is going to work in the cloud environment once published in the view. And I have the logging here for those people that really want to see what's happening in the background. So if I flip across, I can see, for instance, the different dimensions and measures that are available. Now in the top left, I can see I have 13 measures available in this particular view, and I want to turn that into 14 and make some changes. So let's go back into anti-gravity. I don't really need the terminal open anymore. And I will ask the agent to add a CPC cost per click metric to the bids view. So that was the view of the data that we were just looking at in the Data Explorer. So it's going to load up the skills. It's going to read up on Rill essentially and how that works. So you can see it's analyzing some skills there. It's looking at the bid metrics view, and it's figuring out the formula to add. And there you go. It's made that addition into my metrics view. It's also asking to run some commands for some validation of the system. It doesn't actually need to do that since Rill is running live, but we'll just accept a few of those changes as they go through. And I'll flip back here, and I can see that I do have my 14 measures as expected. I will reveal the cost per click measure, and it's been intelligent about it. CPC is the name, cost per click for the description, and it's chosen to give it a currency formatting, all of which is exactly what I would have wanted. Now, the nice thing in Rill is you don't have to work in a dashboard layout to have a dashboard. You will get this data exploration environment just as soon as you have something available in your view. But we do also have a kind of more traditional dashboard layout. We call these the canvas dashboards. You choose exactly what to put on the dashboard in terms of layout and data visualization. And because this is a curated view, it does not yet have that metric. And because it is defined in code, although we also have a nice visual editor for it, I can flip back into Google Antigravity, and I'm going to tell it that I want to add the CPC metric to the executive overview. And we'll put that into the queue. And what it now needs to do is now it needs to look at the layout of the canvas, which it has access to in code form, and figure out what it's going to do with this request to add a metric onto that. And you can see again, it's reading up on its skills, it's reading the code for the executive overview, and it's going to figure out how to make that change. And by the way, because the dashboards are all in code, it makes it really easy to do these things at scale. So if you're publishing dashboards externally and you need tens or dozens of them, it's very easy to do that. So it's made a decision to add to the KPI grid and add to the table. So I'm just going to accept those changes, but let's flip across to the dashboard and see what that means in practice. So I have my CPC measure coming in there now, And if I scroll down, it told me it added to a table as well. So there's the CPC measure also coming in the tabular breakdown. So it's been quite smart about figuring that there are two places that are both appropriate to add my new metric. So we've done both, if you like, a data layer change by adding the metric, and we've done a data curation or dashboarding change by adding it to the Canvas dashboard. And we can also do things just to change the cosmetic approaches. You can do things like change the theme. A nice little example, I think, is just let's add a logo to the top left. And I have the URL for an image there. So again, it's going to do a little bit of thinking there. It's figuring out where to do the logo placement. And there it is. It's added in the top left. And I can look at this change and say, yeah, logo in the top left, that's exactly how I wanted it. So I might do the check first, then go back into my code and accept the change, accept all the changes. And the full flow here, I could now version control this so we would know when and where that change was made. Dashboards are published to Rill Cloud, but you can download the Rill Developer Client to work locally with your agents as a free download from RillData.com. And it works with both Antigravity and the Gemini CLI from Google, so please do try it out.